Oh. So I've got the steel and I've got the trailer. Let's get into fixing it. So to get the job done, I've got myself some 50 by 50 3mm galvanized steel. So this should stop the rust in the future. One thing I can see is, after further investigation, is the front of the trailer, this drawbar here, it's actually been replaced before in the past, and it's been replaced with a thinner metal. It's got a bend in it from all the weight of the trailer. Let me show you. So just lining this pipe up over the top here, nice and flat on one end, on each end, and you can see that big bend in there. So yeah, we've got a problem and we're going to fix it. So the plan for today is we're going to angle grind off this front plate here because I want to keep it. And then we're going to take off the jockey wheel. We're going to lay down the new pipe on top, and we're basically going to have new pipe going along here, and to this one. We're going to use the original trailer, the angles, as a stencil. So we're just going to put everything on top, tack weld it together, make sure that's in the right shape, and then we'll get to the cutting, getting rid of the old stuff, welding everything up, and it'll be job done. Hopefully we don't run into too many problems. Let's see how we go. Undo everything I've done. Oh, that's right, I welded it under there too. Good job. Freshy, eh? Ooh. Oh, that was lucky. Almost chopped off the good old finger. Careful, gotta be careful. See that, how it's all ripped up? It's because my fingers are made out of like titanium. Wreck the disc. Alright, so before we can get to any of the chopping and stuff, we need to get the front of everything off. I need to take this apart. We can unscrew everything on the inside. And before I take the wires off, I'll take a quick photo so I can guarantee that I put everything back in the right way again. There we are. So we can see where every pin is running to there. Alrighty. They didn't really do a good job of having that holding anything down. Pull it all out. There she is, that easy. Alright, so we're going to try to cut off the plate here. See if we can save that. It's not even on straight. Look at the angle. So like if we go draw a line, it sort of keeps going off to that direction. So the trailer wouldn't have been pulling straight. There we are. Wow, look at all the rust that's just come out of in here, just from bashing the front off. And not to mention that I've had probably 4 times that amount already come out. We'll give you a quick look up in there. Again, look at that. That is disgusting. All the way down. We'll replace all of that. Rightio, let's get to flattening. Won't have to do too much in here because this pole's actually warping downwards, so I just need to flatten out the top. Maybe this bit, and along here. It's going to be a pain in the ass, isn't it? I've just managed to pull the loom out through the rust hole, which is going to get me out of trouble when I'm trying to clean up here and making this template. PPE on, goggles, earmuffs, and sneakers. These as well, I guess. Yeah, look at that. While I was banging on there to get that cleaned up, look at all the rust that fell out of there. compared to the last time I just swept it up too. This is crazy. So the post in here, the middle one, I'll give you another look. Check this out. Look how bent that is. Now that's bent because they were using the wrong gauge steel on the front. It's a bit difficult to see in the shadow here, but the corner, the edge here, it's more sharp than round. So the thicker the steel is, the rounder the edge is going to be on that bend. And you can see that this is 3mm, and this is, just looking at that, I'm probably going to guess it's 2mm. The wrong weight to be happening on a trailer, that's for sure. And this is what happens when you have the wrong weight. Look at the bend in it. All of that weight coming down from towing. Lucky nobody had any big accidents. Right, let's get in some thicker steel, and if the welds are good, we'll have no problems. I've got the new angle set out here. It is a little bit wider, but what I'm trying to do is just have an open end on the other end here, and a bigger cross section in here. So there will be a pipe that joins from here across to here as well. Make a bigger cross section here. All right, so I'm getting ready to cut my first cut. Got a new blade actually. I haven't used one of these, what do they call them, diamond tip blades before for cutting. Going to give that a whirl. Hopefully it's a bit better than the smaller pads that deteriorate. Update time. So what I've done is I've chopped up the galvanized steel that I've purchased. You can see that behind me, and I've got it laid out on the floor, nice and square. I've got the measurements all out. I've made sure I've squared it off from this corner here all the way down to this corner here, and then the same on the other side. So the back corner right up in there, all the way down to this corner here. Then I've also squared it off from up here to the corners of each pipe, and I've measured the distance between the side corners on each side to make sure it matches the same width of the trailer where it needs to join. So you can see just out the front there, on each side of the trailer where that triangle is, it's the exact same width. So we're about ready to do some tack welds. Once I get the tack welds in, I will sit it on top just to make sure everything's looking okay. And once that's okay, we'll proceed with doing the rest of the welds. The other thing that I did do is I've ran some cable through the inside. This is just cable because I didn't have any rope, nice and skinny. So I've just used some old speaker cable. So what I'm doing is I've ran that through. You probably can't see, but up in there, I've already drilled out 2 holes, one on each side, and I've sprayed them with some primer paint to stop that from rusting as well. So we're good to go. We're good to tack it up, measure, and everything's okay. Then we'll start chopping the rest off there, and we'll get it welded onto the front. When I do start chopping at the front, that's when I'm going to discover whether or not I need to replace the full side rails on the side of the trailer. So this side rail going all the way down here on each side, I'm not sure what the condition of that is. Sort of hit their rest with a hammer and they sound pretty solid all the way through, but I won't know until I properly cut them off and have a bit of a look. If they're not too bad, then we'll leave them on there. Go on. Yes. It's nice seeing a nice sized cod. Now we're gonna have to climb down there to get it. He wrecked it. Absolutely wrecked it. Holy dooly. Oh, and he's off. Oh, man. Wow. That sucked. Oh. Another day, another cut. Bit of a progress shot here. So I've got the center bit welded up and I've primed the paint. I'm now cutting the angles here. And today I'm hoping to chop the trailer and get that welded in. See how we go. I've also got another brace bar to put in between up there as well. So I'll get that done today. And if everything goes to plan, we'll have the front of the trailer sorted today. Well, it's time to do the first major cut on the trailer. This could get interesting. There is a wire in here as well. the trailer loom wire. I need to make sure that I don't wreck that loom. It's probably not going to be that easy. And I'm probably going to need to use a hacksaw as well as the grinder, because there's some areas in here which I don't think I can get to with the grinder. I'm going to give it my best crack. Sometimes you just forget that you have certain tools laying around. Let's see how this one goes. Pretty loose. Wow. I didn't even have to try, it just went down. So I can see the loom in there, which is good. Check it out. I've done it, chopped it off. So we've chopped it off, we've got the cables out, and there's a lot of rust getting around in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna vacuum clean out these pipes. I'm gonna bash out as much of the rust as I can. It is rusted, but the thickness is still pretty good, so I'm just gonna try to clean it up. It is taking a fair amount of time for me to do this, so I've never really rebuilt a trailer before, so I am just taking my time with every cut, making sure that's perfect. And as you can see over here, here's the result of my first welds, and this thing is sturdy as. Still got to get another brace in there, and yeah, so all I'm going to do now is clean out as much of the rust as I can in there. Once that's all good, I'm going to rewire up the wires, weld it on, and we'll be almost done. Just got to get the hitch on the front again, and we'll stick on the jockey wheel onto that. I've just got to show you something. I just tipped up the pipe, but I thought I would see how much rust was left in it after all the bashing that I'd already done, you know, over the last few days getting this ready. Look at that pile. I just tipped it out there. That is a huge pile of rust. Absolutely incredible. And I reckon I've already pulled that amount out of there, you know, during the process. That just came out of the front section there. Everything's turned out all right, then I should be able to pull through some of the trailer loom that I had sitting around the shed through these pipes. Then we'll wire it up to the trailer where we've chopped it off, and then we can weld this back on. Whippersnippers. Hopefully I've drilled the holes big enough for this and the wire. Just want to wrap the wire. Now I have used old speaker wire here as a pull through. You can use string, use whatever you've got, but just as long as it's strong, you can get it through. And we want to try to keep this as thin as possible, and you don't want this lip on the end here. So you really need to try to wrap that in. Now, with any luck, I'll be able to pull that all the way through. When it gets to this part going through the hole, it's going to be a bit tighter, but if I stuff up, then at least I should be able to pull it back the other way. If I really stuff up, then I've got to come up with another solution. Hey Bon. Just finished giving the axle and the leaf springs a real quick sand down, and then I hit it with some rust converter. The idea is the rust converter grabs your rust, just light rust, and converts it into sort of like a hard sort of enamel. And anyways, just finished doing that. Looks a lot better. It's still wet, you can see the shine on it, but we'll get to the rest of the trailer repairs. Next up is I've got some wiring to do. Just about to solder these wires together so I can get the front of this trailer back on. A lot of hours spent, but you know, it's the experience to me. Sure, I could have just paid somebody to do it. It's just not in my nature. I'd rather have a go at it, learn something new along the way. So I've just finished soldering up these. So the trailer loom's all good on each side. Now I need to get the pole in the position and just to see how these cuts are going. So I fast forwarded 1 week, can you believe it? It's been raining basically every day, so I haven't been able to get any of this work done. and I'm ready to weld on the front of the trailer. So this is a new bit that I've been working on. I've got everything level. I've tested the lights to make sure it's all working. The new loom is all done. I've got these cut to as close as I can possibly get them. And now we're going to start tacking on those welds. Once I do that, then we'll get finishing up on the front. We'll get the jockey wheel back on. We'll get the hitch back on. And then we'll get back to where we were. And we'll get the new winch back on for the boat. These side rails weren't actually too bad. There is a little bit of rust in there, but not much at all. It was mainly this front section here that was all rusted out. Must have been having the trailer stored with the front down. You can probably see up there, the top of that is capped off. So I think all the water was just being held in there and it rusted it right out. This is the top side. And that's the underside if you forgot what it was looking like. So let's not waste any more time and we'll get right into the welding. So I've got a big C-clamp and I've got the earth on the C-clamp. I'm hoping that's enough. If not, I'm gonna have to find another place for the earth. Let's get the few tack welds on each side in and hopefully that'll be good enough and we'll start welding. Rightio. Front of the trailer is on, nice and sturdy. Cleaned up the welds just a little bit on top, and now what I need to do is I need to brace this. So I had a couple options. One option was to put a square tube right in front of this pipe, connecting right across there. Then that would probably be the strongest joint, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the strongest joint here. It really just needs to help take a little bit of that flex out of this joint here. So what I'm going to do is I've got this 3mm thick angle iron here, and I've already marked a line. I'm just going to have this cut across here, and I'll cut a couple slits and it will sit nicely over this pole. What I don't want to do is I don't want to have this pole closed up. I want to make sure that these poles here have free running of water. So I need to cut out this bit here. Right, these ones are going to be a bit of a guesstimate really. So the idea is if it's flush there, we chop this bit off. We want these bits out on the corner. Bit of the etch primer. We're getting close here. Let's get this on. New bolt, one that's not rusted. Alright, so the next step is I've just got to get this nice and square, and then we can bolt it down tight and do the weld joins on the plate. So we don't weld at the top, the hitch itself, you weld the plate on from underneath. So I get that sorted out now, and trailer will be ready to be pulled around, and the only last thing I gotta do is put the jockey wheel back on and the boat winch. We're almost there. We're almost back to where we were meant to be. Then we can do some painting on the trailer. As you can see, while I was waiting for this front to clear up, I've already painted this new section here with some edge primer, so it's all primed up in black. It's doing really well. I've missed a couple spots in there, but that's all right. We'll touch it up when we're going, and then we'll get to sorting out the paint.